Okay.
Ready? Welcome to the regular meeting of council, called to order for September the 23rd, 2024. We have Deputy Mayor Valentino on Zoom. And I would like to acknowledge that we're in Treaty 5 territory, traditional land of Nature's Way Cree Nation, and home to the Red River Métis. Our first order of business tonight, before we approve the agenda, will be the swearing in of our newest councillor, Oswald Saw. Judge Briscoe will be doing the honors.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Saw, I understand that you wish to bind your conscience in this hearing this evening by way of confirming your oath. That's correct, sir?
Yes, correct.
All right, so repeat after me then. I, Oswald Saw,
I, Oswald Saw,
do solemnly declare
do solemnly declare that I am a Canadian citizen, that I am of full age of 18, I am an elector of the city of Thompson, that I am a resident of the province of Manitoba, that I am a resident, that I'm not disqualified under any provision of the municipal act or any other act of the legislature from being a member of council of the city of Thompson, that I will act faithfully and in office of councillor or without fear, favor, or affection, will truly, faithfully, and impartially, and to the best of my knowledge and ability, execute the duties and responsibilities of that office. I make this solemn declaration consciously believing it to be true and knowing that it is in the same force and effect as made under oath and by virtue of the Canadian Evidence Act.
as a provincial court judge and for the province of Manitoba, myself, Curtis Matthew Briscoe, acknowledge this affirmation before me at the city of Thompson in the province of Manitoba this 23rd day of September 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Congratulations and welcome, Oswald.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on. May I have an approval of the agenda? Councillor Unmark, Councillor Chong, all in favor? Carried. Next, we'll go to community comments and feedback. Second call for community comments and feedback. Third and final call, community comments and feedback. Thank you. Next, we'll go to 5. Your minutes. 5.1 is adopted minutes for regular council meeting September 9th, 2024. Resolution 2024-125, moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, seconded by Councillor Chong. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held in council chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, September 9th, be adopted as circulated. Administration,
Nothing further.
Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Nothing further there.
Are there other comments, council? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. 5.2 is adoption minutes for committee of the whole, September 16th, 2024. Resolution 2024-126, moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, seconded by Councillor Chong. Be it resolved that the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of council held in council chamber, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, September the 16th, 2024, be adopted as circulated. Administration,
Nothing further.
Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Nothing further.
Other council? Call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Six point one is resolutions. A resolution authorizing administration to enter into project funding agreement between the government of Manitoba and the city of Thompson for Orange Shirt Day. Resolution 2024-127, moved by Councillor McIver, seconded by Councillor Tom. Whereas the city of Thompson is the recipient of the one-time Orange Shirt Day Fund grant in the amount of $9,000, which will be used in the planning of the city of Thompson Every Child Matters Orange Shirt Day event. Now therefore be it resolved that council authorize administration to enter into the project funding agreement between the government of Manitoba and the city of Thompson Every Child Matters Orange Shirt Day event. Administration?
So this is a new grant that's been released by the province of Manitoba specifically for National Day of Truth and Reconciliation or Orange Shirt Day. I believe the city had applied for $25,000, which is the maximum allowable under the grant. And in return, we were awarded $9,000. The letter came several weeks ago from the Premier's office. And there's a partnership between the city and the Mamaweechuck Friendship Center to organize and facilitate the events. I believe the events are planned to happen this Friday. There'll be information on our social media. And so that the city could receive the funds from the province, council would have to authorize administration to sign the agreement tonight.
Thank you. Councillor McIver, any comment?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm in agreement with this. Orange Shirt is very important to every Aboriginal Missouri.
Any other comments from councillors? Councillor Trump, Wall, sorry.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, well, I appreciate the province willing to give some money for this grant. But when I look at the application, is that going to cost administration have to scale down a little bit? Because you proposed 28,000 based on all your breakdown hourly and the work staff and all that. So how can we accommodate with that amount?
The full scale event has been scaled back. Originally, instead of fireworks, there's plans for a drone show. Unless council were to add additional funds to that, we're operating under the budget that's existing.
Is it would be too late to add that fund to it? If let's say we're all willing to do that?
On the spot, we wouldn't be prepared for a resolution for that. We would probably have to have another meeting.
But I guess, sorry, again, like we don't know how much more we are talking about, right?
Yeah, I would say with the event happening this Friday to actually make any other plan. Wouldn't be realistic, but for next year, if council wanted to do matching funds, that could be something that council looks at.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Lenore?
Yeah, I was just gonna state that the money that we've lost on the request was 16,000 for the drone show that obviously we're taking out, so we'll have the money to do all the other things. That's a little bit sad, but hey, it's gonna be a pretty good show with the 9,000 that we're doing next year. I'm sure I'll have to do a great job. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Saw?
Thank you. Yeah, and I look forward to it as well. And I don't know just as much for this year, but for sure for next year, as part of planning, I totally agree that it's very important for Indigenous population. I think it's also very important for non-Indigenous people to get as informed to the background and the reason behind this day. So my hope is that built into this going forward is that we have some education as well as part of it, as to what's the history behind it and why this day is so important. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Definitely one more way to commemorate Orange Shirt Day, so thank you very much. Call to the question, all those in favor? Carried. Six point two is a resolution allowing the Thompson Senior Community Resource Council to redirect the money received from the city of Thompson. Resolution 2024-128, moved by Councillor McIver, second by Councillor Tom. Whereas on April 22nd, 2024, Council passed resolution number 2024-058, sponsoring a supper at the cost not to exceed $2,500 to be borne out of the grants to organizations account. And whereas this council received a request from the Thompson Seniors Community Resource Council is allowed to reallocate the $2,500 to develop the seniors elder center that would provide space for older people to access any time of day for coffee, games, workshops, and webinars. Now therefore be it resolved that council is in agreement that the Thompson Seniors Community Resource Council reallocates the $2,500 for development and senior elder center. Anthony?
This letter came before the committee the whole last week. It's a request from the senior center. Obviously, their conference that they were planning fell through and they weren't able to proceed with that. But they did come in person as well as send this letter requesting that these dollars be repurposed towards finding a building or acquiring a space to be used for the senior center. The committee of the whole had reviewed it at the last meeting, recommended it come forth for resolution tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Carver, any comments?
Madam Mayor, I'm in agreement with it.
Councilor Overdorfer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, apologies that I had to send my regrets last meeting, so I was not here at the committee of the whole to be a part of the discussion. I just have some questions, I guess, around timelines when they're planning to establish this resource center. I don't necessarily have any issues with supporting the resource center. I guess I'm just curious in terms of timelines. And like I know their seniors Christmas lunch is coming up, so just in terms of why the decision was made to ask to reallocate it to this when it seems like maybe it's not something that's in the near future, but maybe I'm misunderstanding. And maybe there are things that are coming up, like the seniors Christmas lunch that are coming up sooner than this facility may be ready for them, that the funding could be allocated to. So that's just, I'm curious.
Well, thanks, Councilor. Unfortunately, I don't have those answers for you tonight. We only have what was put in the letter, so if council wanted those, we could ask those questions after the fact if you'd like. Or otherwise, we would have to invite them to come to a meeting to explain.
When I was at the seniors AGM last week, they had mentioned that they were starting a fund that was going to be specifically going to the new building, and then these funds would go into that to direct. But that's how it was announced. Sandra?
Sorry, just follow up, but they didn't specify a timeline. They just announced that they're gonna begin fundraising. Is that what you understand? Thank you for clarification.
Councilor Shaw.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, I'm also disappointed that people themselves don't feel need to come up north. So it's bad to see that. But in saying that, the resource center I know has been started to talk about in the last half a year or so. Timeline wise, from what I understand, and I don't think it necessarily, and we could confirm this with the senior resource council. I don't know if it's necessarily the resource center has to be a standalone building, or if they're looking for options where they can have a sustainable place to rent and a place to gather for activities. I will say that with this fund, I'm going to answer all the comments. I think it's important to have it flexible. In that in case they do need it for something later on, that they could have access to it, but I do support it. I know it's a very much a needed concept. We've seen over the last year where a lot of seniors, and they are a very active bunch. I mean, they have weekly gatherings at the Legion. They have it at the TRCC. They are a growing group, and I think having a place where they can meet that they call their own is very much something that's needed here in Thompson, because it is a big gap. It's a need. So I do support. I will ask that, I'm not sure if through the city manager, if we could look at or they requested just account set up in case they want to start do fundraising and they want to have the ability to be able to issue tax receipts. I don't know if that's been requested or if that's on
in line.
That hasn't been requested. The resource council would have to make the request to the city, and then the city would have to pass a resolution allowing the CFO to do so.
Good, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Valentino?
Thank you, Mayor Smook. I had to send regrets last week also, so I missed the discussion. I will be supporting the reallocation of this dollars, but I do believe we have questions for them and more for what their plans are for the future. So if we could maybe ask them to come and present to us maybe in January what their 2025 plan looks like, so we won't have these quick one-offs in decision making. But maybe we can see a little bit of their long-term plan and what they have going on for the future for their 2025 year would be great, because that would be after the seniors lunch that we've been invited to and stuff. So, but for now, I'll support this. We've already allocated the dollars, so I'm fine with it. Thank you.
Councilor Lundmark?
Yeah, I'll be supporting this resolution, to use the funds for updated plan in the presentation. I know we'll make good use of it, and there are more people involved in that, and I hope that they continue to, this is people that help make our city, and I'm sure that they can continue to do some good work with us and for the city, and for those that come behind them. And I do hope that they try and have their conference again in the near future.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, just listening to some of the conversations at the AGM, there have been a couple buildings over the last year that have sort of come open for them. And then, you know, they didn't have the down payment, so now their feeling is if they actually get some money in the bank and something does come open that's already pre-built, then they would have a better chance of maybe getting in there and getting in on the ground floor. So new builders, you know, talked about, but they're definitely willing to options just to get a bit of for themselves. So thank you. With that, the call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Six point three is a resolution to approve in principle the Manitoba Kiwatnawe Kamak Incorporated Monument Project. Resolution 2024-129, moved by Councillor McIver, second by Councillor Chong. Whereas MKO, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Liaison Unit, is working on an MMIWG 2S+ monument in the city of Thompson. And whereas Valley, Manitoba Hydro, and the province of Manitoba are partnering with MKO to assist with the project. And whereas MKO has secured funding for the installation costs and also has confirmation A&B builders to do the foundation for the monument. Therefore be it resolved that council agree in principle with the MKO monument project and authorize administration to proceed with the project. Anthony?
MKO had originally come to council back in 2002, I believe, with the initial proposal for this project. Originally, there was a different location for this project. That was on city land that was near the Miles Hart Bridge. That would have been difficult to use. And then council, I believe Councillor Chong proposed using City Hall property for that project instead. And there'd been a general endorsement of that idea by the rest of council. This has been accepted by MKO. There's been further work done where the costing questions that council's brought forward, I believe, have been answered. They presented last week as a delegation to council, answering all the final questions that council might have had at that time. And now the request to council is, can they proceed with this project with the land, utilizing the parking lot, and the coming to an agreement on a monthly electricity bill.
Thank you. Councillor McIver, it's a mover.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm very excited to see this monument, and I can't wait for it to get started. I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Oberdorfer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just had a question regarding the resolution, and the use of city land. And I'm just wondering, if it's specific enough for administration to proceed with them using the land, or is that gonna have to come back to us at
Anthony?
A lot of the monuments, we've done more of a general basic resolution. We haven't set it up as a formal lease. So if, or land sale, because it's still remaining the city's property. So I'd recommend doing it by resolution. The alternate would be to drop some sort of a formal agreement.
Can I just add clarification?
Councilor,
Thank you. So. I guess just for the public's understanding. In the minutes, the letter will be linked so that people understand what we're committing to, I guess, is kind of more what I'm getting at.
Everything will be linked as normally through Callnet, so.
Thank you, and I'm in support of this resolution. I'm excited to see it's finally going forward.
thank you. Deputy Mayor Valentino?
Thank you, Mayor Smook. I'm in support of this also, and I think this is a really good example of partnerships and relationships, how we've had to go back and forth numerous times with different kind of location and who's paying the hydro and stuff, and to get to this point, and I appreciate MKO and our administration working together in the back and forth and coming up with a good solution to this and that everybody's in favor of. So yeah, I'm supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Saul?
Thank you, yeah, so support that. I do have a question on, I think this is probably, it's been shown before. Is there's an artist, drawing in mind?
Yes. I believe it was developed by an artist or by an architect. There is a drawing of, we can provide that to council. It's come before council in the past.
Okay,
We can get pictures of that for you so that you see what's being agreed.
that would be good, thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Wall?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I definitely support this, but I think somehow we need to have that, well, you kind of explained a bit already. So I think somehow it's good to have the agreement right out. I mean, right out so that way we can know exactly what are we responsible for and what are they responsible for instance, like the hydro and the parking and all that. Other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think it's the best interest for us to have the agreement. Thank you.
I propose if that's what council wants, that we would bring back a maintenance agreement in the future, but allow the construction to start now, which is the purpose of this agreement.
I think tonight is just like we approve in principle, that's what we written there, right? Just the concept, we approve it.
Daniel, well, they would like to get started
Yeah. I
before
have no problem.
freeze up, yeah. Okay, anyone else? Definitely another step forward, and like you said, this has been a 2-year ongoing process, so thank all the parties, our administration and that for getting to this point. Call for the question, all those in favor? Carried. Okay. Just before we close off, I'd like to remind people of the 27th, the orange shirt on the 30th, next Monday will be the holiday, so council will be next Tuesday, October 1st on 7 p.m. No, 7th.
October 7th.
October 2nd. Oh,
7th.
7th. Oh, right, it's next Monday, I'm sorry.
And then the holiday.
There is no meeting next week, folks. See you October 2nd, 7th. Call for adjournment. Councilor McIver, Councilor Landmark, all in favor.
Next meeting is October 7th.